Hey, it's Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Here today to work on Upavistha Konasana, our wide-angled forward bend, middle splits, if you will. Keep in mind, guys, this is something you basically want to do after you're warmed up, okay? Because this is a big stretch. Couple warm-ups. Once you're more warmed up, meaning like middle of your practice, towards the end of your practice, horse stance. So in my horse stance, I'm at about 2/3 of a warrior stance length. And I turn my feet out, not all the way necessarily to the side, but as out as works for your body, and bend down super low. If you start with your hands on your thighs like this, it really does make it easier to get very low in your hips. Now, staying that low, remember the knees are pushing backwards that way. Take your arms out to the sides, or if you want something a little more intense, up into the air. Now, if you're thinking, oh my goodness, that's a goddess, you're wrong, okay? There is no goddess pose, guys. Yoga was a practice created by men for men. So they probably wouldn't create a pose called goddess. This is actually a horse or horse stance. Stay this low. Can you reach your arms forward, keeping your chest parallel to the floor and still pulling away with your knees? So you're getting really nice stretch into the hip flexors, into the inner thighs, and continue down forearms to the floor if you can. If that's too intense, don't put your forearms on the floor. Just take your arms straight and press into the floor. But either way, going as low as you can. Squat down, push your knees energetically backwards. From here, parallel your feet, straighten your arms. Okay, so Upavistha Konasana is actually a pose done from sitting, but to warm it up, we'll take a split from standing. Take your time with this one. Start to toe heel your feet out, but be super mindful. If you're not used to this one, and let me be honest with you, I'm not used to this one. I hardly ever do it. You want to be slow and very incremental in your movement. If you can get low enough, forearms to the floor helps. But let's just ease into this one. And so that you don't go past your edge and your feet don't just like slide off into the netherworld, energetically pull your feet inwards even though they're sliding outwards. Breathe. Try to maintain some length in your spine as well, okay? So don't just round your spine into this one. Finding an edge. If you get your crotch to the ground, great, but guess what? It's fine if you can't, okay? I can't, and the yoga gods still love me. I think I said yoga gods. What I mean is yoga gods. Okay, pressing into your forearms, start to toe heel your feet back to center. Now, as always, you can certainly keep these poses longer than I am. I just want to give you some things to work on. Always you can pause this, stop it, do what you need to do. So as you come in, let's squat down. So how about Malasana? Feet all the way together if you can. Remember, Malasana in a perfect world is feet together, feet parallel, and the heels are flat. If this is too intense, take your feet wider apart or turn your feet out. But your goal is feet together and parallel. So as close together and as parallel as possible, squish on in, arms press into your legs and legs pull into your arms. Just a few breaths here. And then sit down, okay? Take your legs out to the sides. Now, I'm a big fan of having your heels on your yoga mat. So I recommend that you face sideways on your yoga mat the way that I am, just so that if you're on the wood, the feet have a tendency to slide in more. So if you don't have a big split, sit back where your your hips can be off the mat, but let's keep your feet on the mat. Now, as I move incrementally into this one hip comes sort of behind. It's okay if it's off to the side or behind, one in front. I lift my hips and scoot them forward, okay? Now, that's probably not news to you. However, the heels need to pull away from your hips, okay? Because what happens is my heel pulls away is it lengthens the whole back side of my leg and it creates more space. I scoot in again and ignite. You see how each time, if I scoot in and I don't ignite, my heels sort of lock my legs inwards, okay? When my goal is to go outwards, so I press through the heels, lengthen, scoop, press through the heels. So each time, scoop, press through the heels, and scoop. So I'm looking for whatever the edge is that works for my body, okay? Now, in Upavistha Konasana, the toes are facing up and you can even shake them back a little bit because when we go forward, they're probably going to want to go forward with you. So if you're somebody whose feet go this way, keep in mind, that ain't how this pose works. Pull the toes out and think about taking your thighs. You don't actually have to use your hands, but you can. Think about taking your thighs and rolling them outward as if your inner thigh can roll up and over to the outside. I'm going to go one more time forward and out. Now, Upavistha Konasana is a forward fold. Okay, we're trying to get our chest down to the floor. Okay, now for some people, just being here, no matter where you are, when I say here, I don't mean as wide as I am or narrower or deeper or anything. Wherever you are once you've reached your edge, this may feel like, yeah, I ain't going nowhere. If that's the case, put your hands behind you on your fingertips and push your chest forward, okay? You can even, if you find that doing Upavistha, I'm going to go into like a tiny little Upavistha so I can stay on screen. If you find that your spine is rounding and there's nothing you can do, if you can't push to lengthen, then put yourself up against a wall and just take your tailbone to the wall and go as wide as works for your body, okay? But see if you can get at least vertical, at least 90 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to reestablish this. I'm moving back a little bit on my mat at the same time. So I push in and lengthen, push in and lengthen, push in and lengthen, push in, lengthen. Okay, this is my edge for right now. Okay, so I can get at least vertical. And remember, every forward bend has an element of a back bend, right? So as I fold forward, imagine that this is just not your edge. As you start to move forward, lead with your chest. So don't round it down, leading with your head, lead with your chest. My goal is to get my chest to the floor, not my head. Because remember guys, when you're in a forward bend, anytime you round your spine, it actually releases the hamstrings rather than making it deeper. Why? Because the pelvis is connected to your low back and to your hams. So when I round my back, the pelvis rolls forward, thereby allowing extra space for my hamstrings. So once my heels are up, are out, and my toes are up, make sure they don't collapse in. I walk forward, resisting the thighs back, leading with my chest forward. Okay, so there's a back bend in here. Again, not here or here. Here. I know that having your head low makes you feel like you've arrived somewhere. It's actually a cheat, okay? So, going as low as you can, flexing through your feet like crazy, trying to pull them backwards, and if it's available to you, the chest comes down. Notice my head is still not down, okay? My head has not earned the right to drop until my chest touches first. Now I guess if you have a very large chest, which I don't have, it gives you a bit of a head start on this process. So I come down, my legs are super activated in this direction. So they're pulling away from me. They're not just sitting there. If you want to, I actually can't, where are my toes? Wow. Okay, my toes are super far away. I can't really grab them. But you might be able to. Okay, and come on up. Now, if you find your feet are like super crazy slidey in, I don't know why they would be, but you can always turn against the wall. I find that it's actually a little easier to do it on the mat because I can keep reigniting the pose. But if you turn around, well, you might not turn around, I have no idea where your wall is, and take your feet on the wall, this will absolutely stop your feet from sliding unless you have some manner of breaking through the wall that's in front of you. Same process. I push and flex, push and flex, push. And remember that when I do this, my feet actually can't like collapse forward, right? Because there's a wall there. Push and forward. I can't fold forward on this one, but I can make myself nice and flat and ignite my legs out. Of course, there's always Konasana. Konasana is a vertical posture, meaning you're not leaning forward. But in Konasana, we're really looking for that straight 180-degree line, which, guess what? I can't demonstrate for you. But once you can get those legs all the way out to the sides, taking your hands to prayer, actually becomes a balance pose. Anyway, Upavistha Konasana is a great stretch to complement your Hanuman practice and to really get into the inner thighs and hips. This is Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California, wishing you an awesome day.